welcome back to the wonderful world of Faithful with a Few. Thank you so much for your support over the last few videos that I've sent on the website. I've been reading you guys' emails and stuff, so it's really encouraging to know that this content that I'm making really encourages you. So please keep letting me know if you like this kind of stuff, because it encourages me as well. So you scratch my back, I scratch yours. So today's video now should be less smiles and more frowns, because this is all about competition in the body, competition in life, everyday competition. Sometimes stay in your own lane. So this video is on competition, and I found a scripture to back this up so I can talk about it. Just same thing as curses. If I find a scripture that backs up my opinions, I will do a video about it. So this video is all about competition, and most importantly, the destruction of a competitive spirit. How such a competitive spirit can actually be so destructive to you as a person. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 15, and then go into it in more depth. And I really want you guys to listen to this video very carefully and understand the different levels of competition you can have in the body and how to avoid them. So I'm going to go straight into it now in the interest of time. But 1 Corinthians, I get my phone because y'all know I don't like to be a liars. 1 Corinthians, the devil's a liar. 1 Corinthians 15 verse 41, it says, "There is one glory of the sun, and another glory of the moon, and another glory of the stars. For one star differeth, and another star in glory." Let me read it one more time for the talkers in the front. 1 Corinthians 15:41, "There is one glory of the sun, and another glory of the moon, and another glory of the stars. For one star differeth from another star in glory." That's in the King James Version. In essence, what the writer here is telling us, what Paul is saying, is that you have the sun, the moon, and the stars, but they're all very different in glory. Let me tell you about it now. So what I want to talk about first and foremost is, you know how sometimes you find yourself in a group of, I don't know, just a group, and there's always that one person who's competitive. There's always that one person, if you say, "Oh, I want to do A," they say, "Oh, but I've done B, C, and D." If you say, "Oh, I want to have £5," they say, "Oh, but I got £50." Or if you say, "Oh, I want to go and visit France." "Oh, what do you mean? I've been to the whole of Paris. I've been to, the south and the east and the west." And they always have a competitive spirit. There's always a reason why what you're doing is not good enough. They've done better. And that is a very competitive spirit. There's always a reason why, if somebody's been ordained a minister, "Oh, what do you mean? I'm a pastor." There's always a reason why. But for every pastor, there's still a bishop, there's still an archbishop. There's always going to be someone that always thinks they're better than you. And it's come to a point where I'm just like, okay, it's a bit much now, if I'm honest. I'm doing a video to address something so that, especially as we go into the new year, or if this video has already come out late, then as we are currently in the new year, we really encourage a spirit of collaboration. One thing I want to say now before I go into the rest of this video is, I got really cognizant of the fact by the time we got to about August of 2016 that I wasn't adequately supporting my friends in their endeavors. And so there's a big difference between saying, "Oh, that's nice, oh, well done," to actively and tangibly supporting. So when my website came out, www.fwaffoundation.org, aka Faith with a Few, I got phone calls from people in New York. I got messages from people abroad. People was almost like 2 weeks after my website was launched, people were still telling me congratulations. And for me, at one point, I was like, well, what's the big deal? It's just a website. But then to see people rejoicing with me made me feel even like, wow, like, okay, maybe this is a big deal. Like, wow. And to see people supporting me, I just said to myself, like, wow. And it just really reminded me of the need to support and to properly encourage and collaborate. People were sharing my promo kind of stuff all over the internet, and it really made me feel like, really, I don't know, it just really made me feel like so valued by people. So I've really been challenged myself to really make sure I'm encouraging people. And one of the biggest things I found is, if you as a person find it hard to encourage people, you need to ask yourself why. Why is it that you find it so hard to encourage? Unless deep down you've got a competitive spirit within you. Deep down you've got a jealous spirit within you. Deep down you're envious. Deep down you're the kind of person who doesn't want to congratulate another person because you feel like they've done better than you. And we, as whether or not we're in the body as Christians, whether or not we're in the world as friends, whether or not it's just a stranger you meet on the street, if you find it hard to celebrate other people's achievements, then there is actually something wrong with you. If you're the kind of person that when good news reaches your ears, all that comes out is negative words, then there is actually a problem with you, unfortunately. And I'm just keeping it raw. I am honestly just saying, when I do the rest of this video, you'll understand why it's so important to just support and encourage people, because everybody has their own lane. So you stay in your own lane and you encourage people that are in their own lane. So what I want to do now is go back to the scripture, because it's very important. I'm still not going to forget it. Go back to the scripture and really read and break it down for you. It says here that There is one glory of the sun, and another glory of the moon, and another glory of the star. From one star differeth from another in glory. So here you can see Paul is talking about different levels of glory. You've got the moon, the star, and the sun. They all do different things. They've all got different levels of glory. So if you are the sun and you find yourself being jealous of the moon, there's a problem with you. If you are the moon and you find yourself being jealous of the stars, there's a problem with you. So sometimes you need to appreciate who you are, what God has made you to be, who God has made you to be, what God has called you to do, and you do that well. Know your role, you play it well. I'm going to look at a few notes here. But yeah, so here I made a note by saying run your race. And this is a very good point. So one of the analogies I said to my pastor once is about running your own race and why it's so important. Because one of the things I've realized in life is that there have been people growing up who have tried to compete with me. But the problem is this is, even if you, even if you run my race, guess what? You can't win. Because that finish line was not designed for your feet to cross it. My finish line at my race only recognizes one size shoe, one pair of feet. They only recognize my toes. So if you cross my finish line, guess what? You haven't won. There's no medals for other people running other people's races. Do you know that? Paul says that he has finished. Paul said, I have finished my race. He ran his own race, yo. I ran my race. If you cross the finish line of my race, you still haven't won. And worst of all, guess what? While you're too busy running my race, you've left your race vacant. So because you're too fixed on what I'm doing, because you want to be a part of what I'm doing, because you're so pressed about what I'm doing, you've stepped out of the will of God for your own life. So instead of you pursuing your purpose, you're pursuing my purpose. But guess what? Only I can pursue my purpose. Only I can fulfill my purpose. When God goes down to the books, when God will look in the book of remembrance, he will say, okay, Tolu, ministry, that's it. So if your name is Agatha or Davina or Sarah Jo or Sammy and you've crossed my race, God says, no, did not finish, did not qualify. Because you not only have you not won my race, you did not win your own race either. So it's so important to make sure that you run your own race. Paul tells us that there are different races to win. The race for the stars will be different. The race for the moons will be different. The race for the sun will be different because they all have their own glory. So stay in your place of glory and run your own race, guys. I'm just heating up, guys. That's just my introduction. I'm coming. One of the things I also wanted to do is make a point. So Paul now says that you have the sun, the moon, and the stars. He even says that within the stars there's different levels of glory. And I want to make a point and be cheeky. Have you ever noticed how, let's just say you are a performer and you sing or you do poetry, you do rap. Have you always noticed how it's one of your friends or one of your acquaintances that wants to be doing competition with you? But my question is, if let's just say I'm a singer. So if I'm a singer, why should my friend or frenemy or any kind of person around me be competing with me? Can you go and compete with Beyonce, please? Or if I'm a business owner, don't be competing with me. Can you go and compete with Richard Branson? Why is it, have you ever noticed that people are selectively competitive? They compete against who they think they can beat. But if you are going to be competitive, please, at least go to the best of the best. Yeah, it's like if people want to compete, at least, please, compete and do it properly. If I'm a competition, please, can you go and compete with Bishop Jakes? Can you go and compete with Pastor Stephen Furtwick, please? Can you go and compete with the biggest of the biggest? Don't come and look for my trouble, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just making a point, I'm just being cheeky and making a point. But people are oftentimes competitive and they compete with people who they think they can beat. They don't compete with people who will force them to go higher. And that's another thing that I've noticed. So please, guys, competition can be so destructive, not only to you, but it's also to other people. Because if you're the kind of person that wants to support someone else and instead you will tear them down, you now withdraw, you now negatively affect their own hustle. So when they're trying to grow and when they're trying to branch out, you've now affected them. So not only are you, basically you've contaminated yourself, you're contaminating other people, and that's also very dangerous, especially within the body. You'll have people that are preaching, and there's always that backseat preacher that thinks that they've done it better, so they'll not be saying, oh, he didn't even mention this point. Oh, I can't believe she didn't use that verse from the Bible. I can't believe she didn't get the correlation between this and that. But in this 2017, please guys, I don't even want to have pim when it comes to competition. If it isn't well done, keep it to yourself. If it isn't about encouraging and building the body, keep it to yourself. If it isn't about encouraging and building other people, keep it to yourself. I mean, I want to hear it. So yes, guys, just as I round up, I just really want to encourage you, especially in this, as we enter into the new year, or if we're already in the new year, as we are in the new year, to make sure that you really focus on collaboration. Because one of the analogies I used earlier was about races, and the thing about a race is this: it doesn't matter where you start off. You can start off in position 1 or position 8, lane 1 or lane 8. At some point, no matter how far you are in distance, you're going to have to start running. And when you run, you're all going to hit the bend. And at the bend, you get closer together. So there'll come a point in your race in life where the people that you are now warring against or being jealous of, or the people that you're now being competitive against, there will come a point in life where you're actually going to meet them at that bend. And how you treat each other in the run-up to that bend dictates how they will behave when they meet you at that bend. So it's actually imperative that you treat people with kindness, that you collaborate, that you support, so that when it's your time, when you get to the bend, the person that you supported at the beginning of the finish, at the beginning of the race line, they'll be there to support you when you hit the bend. There are people who have supported me out of nowhere, and they've said, oh yeah, remember that time when you helped me do this? And they're talking about things that happened like 4 years ago, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, that's nice, I forgot. Like, I just did that to be nice. I just did that because I believed in what you were doing. And to some extent, even if I didn't believe in what you were doing, I want to still support you. Because there's another word I'm going to share from Proverbs 16 about God blessing the work of your hands. So sometimes you need to do and give God something to bless, but that's another video. So I really want to encourage you, for all of the endeavors that you want to start this year, for all of the things that your friends have been doing, keep supporting, keep encouraging. Don't let the destructive nature of competition rob you of the joy of supporting people, rob you of the joy of collaboration. Because like I said, we're all being called to be some different things. You can be the sun, you can be the moon, you can be the stars. They've got their own glory, they've got their own nature, they operate at different times, they've been called for different things, they have different levels of but they carry different weight. The moon is important because we need it to keep the light bright at night. The sun is important, it gives heat. It's a form of light. Stars are important, I don't know why, but they are important. Jesus, even the sign for Jesus was to follow the stars. So like, all of these things are important. Don't let anybody make you feel otherwise. Don't feel like you have to compete because you're a star with someone else's sun, or because you're a sun with somebody else's moon. Paul said very clearly in 1 Corinthians 15 verse 41, they all have their own glory. You have your own glory. Be encouraged, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.